your generous support. Our work as performers would not be possible without your presence and patronage. Now, we invite you to join us as we present to you Stagemakers Season Finale. The child is made of 100. The child has 100 languages, 100 hands, 100 thoughts, 100 ways of thinking, of playing, of speaking. 100, always 100 ways of listening, of marveling, of loving. 100 joys for singing and understanding, 100 worlds to discover, 100 worlds to invent, 100 worlds to dream. The child has 100 languages and 100 more, but they steal 99. The school and the culture separate the head from the body. They tell the child to think without hands, to do without head, to listen and not to speak, to understand without joy, to love and to marvel. They tell the child to discover the world already there, and of the 100, they steal 99. They tell the child that work and play, reality and fantasy, science and imagination, sky and earth, reason and dream are things that do not belong together. And thus they tell the child that the 100 is not there. The child says, "No way, the 100 is there." Stagemakers is a school for actors, dancers, musicians, and crafters of all ages. It is our mission to infuse our students' talents in the performing arts with practical life skills and to connect them with other artists in our community through collaborative projects and productions. Each week, our students meet for 2 hours to experience world cultures and historical periods through the lens of dance, music, storytelling, and related handcrafts. In addition to traditional training in the performing arts, our students also participate in the creative process of producing original works for the stage, as well as explore the professional business practices required to bring their visions to life. To begin our inaugural season, we journeyed to Japan, where we discovered the origins of the geisha fan dance, taiko drumming, and kamishibai storytelling. For 6 weeks, our students immersed themselves into these topics as they learned how to write a short story, create storyboards, illustrate with watercolors, construct a drum, compose rhythms, sight read music, sing by ear, and how to combine music, movement, and storytelling into one holistic presentation. Then, we dove into the performing arts cultures of indigenous peoples. Students worked in pairs to spin their own trickster tales and to create movement reflecting the qualities of their imagined characters. Chanting, a dance in the round, and crafting rhythm instruments from found natural objects also shaped the curriculum for this unit. Our mini performance was held outdoors around a bonfire for a more authentic experience for the artist and their audience. Our holiday block was based on the story Bear Stays Up for Christmas by Karma Wilson. In order to tell the story in an original way, the students wrote and performed a charades play, designed and constructed a set piece, learned a West Coast jazz dance, and sang traditional Christmas carols. It was during this unit that we had our first major snafu, the set building project. All of our best laid plans failed, and everyone learned the valuable life lesson of having a plan B, C, and D in your pocket, especially when it comes to anything regarding the stage. Next, it was time to prepare for Valentine's Day. We traveled to Victorian England and learned about the various types of entertainment for children prior to the inventions of television and internet. Students constructed nursery rhyme puppets and miniature theaters in our stagecrafting class. Nursery comedies, singing in rounds, and romantic era ballet were also topics of exploration in this block study. Finally, on March 1st, our students began work on the capstone block, during which they collaborated with other artists and theatrical professionals in our community. With the help of Kira Summer of B Summer Medworks, the children learned how to shape clay into rhythm chimes, which you will see played later today in the performance. And Sally Lumen, the costume mistress for our local ballet company, the Newberry Ballet Guild, helped them design and construct costumes for their fashion show. The students were also tasked with creating an original performance for the stage. They kept coming back to Wizard of Oz, a tale of 4 new friends on a heroic journey together, along with 2 guides who must constantly strike the balance between reining them in and letting them go in the creative process. Coincidentally, our final block echoed this theme quite loudly in real life. The girls, at first, wanted to do an elaborate production of Wizard of Oz, but realistically, we did not have the time or resources to pull it off. Then, they wanted to do a charades play based on an abbreviated version of the book. But at 32 pages, their wicked witch of a teacher didn't think the audience would want to sit through that much gesture and narration. Finally, with some initial hesitation, they compromised on a fashion show inspired by the iconic characters in Wizard of Oz. After a lesson in fashion modeling from our lovely assistant, Tori Summer, the girls' imaginations were sparked, and they never looked back. Stagemakers isn't about achieving perfection in the art of performance. It is about process, progress, and poise. Joy, passion, and camaraderie. Honoring those who have gone before us through the study of their art forms, and building community by finding common ground with others in our own corner of the world. Stagemakers is a safe place for children who need to create, for children who need to move their bodies, for children who need to make music, for children who need to take center stage, and for children who need to speak their own language of expression, whichever of the 100 that might be. Our season began with 2 students and doubled to 4. These 4 talented girls have pioneered this program and have helped to bring an elaborate, decades-long dream into focus. Saying thank you hardly seems adequate for what they have started in this community for other performing artists like themselves. If you feel so inclined, please carry on their work by spreading the word about what they have crafted for you today. Help us create a world where all learning styles are valid and self-expression is celebrated. As the old Shakespearean saying goes, all the world's a stage. What we want to know at Stagemakers is, which part will you play? welcome to the runway Dorothy Gale from Kansas and her sweet little sidekick Toto. Dorothy is a vision in blue, while Toto sports red. Her look has us swept up in a storm. Check out those polka dots. They must be inspired by raindrops. And that silky blue skirt is sure to be all the rage in Munchkinland this summer. When Dorothy isn't helping Auntie Em on the farm, she likes to travel to exotic locations somewhere over the rainbow. Her favorite thing to do is make new friends. Would you look at those dazzling ruby red slippers? Click, click. Thank you, Dorothy. Next, we'll meet the Scarecrow, a lovely little girl next door who loves to hang out in the cornfield. Her get-up is perfect for a day filled with pie making and fending off those pesky old crows. Scarecrow says her sleeves are spun from corn silk, and her patchwork skirt is inspired by quilts. She has two special talents, spinning in circles without getting dizzy and chatting with the birds. Friends say Scarecrow is an excellent listener and a loyal guardian of the land. Now, open your hearts for the sparkliest Tin Man you ever did see. She is dressed to impress in shades of gray with accents of silver. Tin Man describes her look as bling on a roll. Her ribbon belted skirt features metallic mesh, and her shoes are crafted of pure silver. When Tin Man isn't picking apples, you can find her reading Shakespearean sonnets and drinking oil can smoothies. Tin Man wears shiny cat ears so that she'll always match her best friend, the Cowardly Lion. Speak of the devil, here she comes now. Bravest, fiercest lion to ever roam the forest. Sassy and regal in premium fur, she is sure to rule those tigers and bears. Wow! Let's talk about her fabulous accessories, shall we? Diamond-encrusted bows and fingerless gloves are so in right now. And spats to match give her that certain air of savoir-faire. Lion enjoys singing, chasing rabbits, and little dogs too, and playing dress-up. Her favorite flower is the dandelion. Oh my stars! Glinda the Good Witch has just floated in from the north. She is stunning in a gown spun from fairy floss. Inspired by the Lullaby League and tailored in classic lines, it is oh so pretty in ballet pink. Glinda spends her days thwarting the evil plans of wicked witches with love and laughter, and rebuilding Munchkinland with her magic wand. In her free time, you'll find her racing in her bubble on Yellow Brick Speedway and being pampered at the Emerald City Spa. Keep up the good work, Glinda. We're counting on you to keep Oz safe. Ring around the rosy and pocket full of spears. Here comes the Wicked Witch of the West. Almira's her name, and she is one mean fashion machine. Dressed to kill in threatening shades of purple, her gown is made from the skins of flying monkeys who disappointed her. The lines are inspired by the wings of her owl spies. Now she can really soar when she is joyriding on her magic broom. Almira's specialties include sending smoke signals and brewing poppy poison. She claims her greatest weakness is a great pair of shoes. They are just the thing to cheer her up on a rainy day. When have you ever seen such a well-dressed bunch? These four friends are ready to meet the wizard. We hear he gives the best gifts in the whole land of Oz. Oh dear, Almira just can't stand it. She will stop at nothing to have those ruby red slippers. Fly, friends, fly! Uh-oh. Glinda is not happy. Be gone, witch, before someone drops a house on you. Well, one thing is for sure, we certainly aren't in Kansas anymore.
Where are you going, Taylor? I don't know what this is. This is like a vacuum. Can you take a picture of him? There's a picture of Moody. Hey.
No, Daddy.
Kind hearts.
No. I want my mommy. I want my mommy. I want my mommy. I want my mommy. No. No. I want my mommy. No, I want my mommy.
She's watching the show.
No, I want my mommy.
She's over at the show.
No. 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 I want my mommy. No, let me go.
Kind hearts are the gardens. Kind thoughts are the roots. Kind words are the blossoms. Kind deeds are the fruits. Before the advent of iPads, cartoons, or even picture books, children were taught the ways of the world through little poems and riddles. Nursery rhymes, as they came to be known in Victorian England, are full of symbolism, life lessons, and sometimes controversial secrets. Mother Goose was quite popular among the smallest members of society and served as a way to both educate and entertain Victorian children. In this study, our students learned the pentatonic scale, which consists of 5 musical notes, D, E, G, A, and B. And they learned how to sing in rounds. This was also the first block in which they sang with an instrument, as all of our musical lessons up to this point had been a cappella. The poem was written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, and the tune composed by Miss Lane. Kind hearts are the gardens. In keeping with the theme of Victorian nursery entertainment, the students also learned to construct stick puppets based on characters from Mother Goose rhymes. Each girl selected the nursery rhyme of her choice and drafted a pattern for her puppets. After the stick figures were complete, they made miniature stages for the stars of their show, which allowed them to explore scenery on a tiny scale. The puppets are constructed with craft foam, metal brags, and wooden dowel rods. Kind heart.
Frankenmuth, the kittens have lost their mittens. Why, I hope they are my kittens. They must be some of my kittens. Scene 3. Three little kittens lost their mittens, and they began to cry. Oh, mother dear, we sadly fear that we had lost our mittens. What? You lost your kittens? You not take kittens. Then y'all shall have no pie. Meow, 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 meow.
The next piece combines several elements from 2 block studies: our celebration of Indigenous peoples during the months of October and November, and our final project, community collaboration. You will see the students playing their handcrafted instruments called rhythm chimes while chanting a sacred Native American healing song. While it may look simple to the audience, it is actually quite difficult to walk while singing and playing an instrument. In doing those 3 actions simultaneously, the students are exploring the concept of layered rhythms, or polyrhythms, as they are called in dance and music. Between the visual of the labyrinth walking pattern and the mysterious sounds from the earthy clay chimes, we hope you will feel as calm as we do after performing this piece. A Monster in the Garden was the group's first foray into memorizing lines and developing characters. Also part of our Victorian Valentine's Day block, this short nursery comedy gave the students another glimpse into what life was like for children their age in 19th century England. Nursery comedies were written for small casts of children and intended to be performed at home for a doting audience of parents, grandparents, and special visitors. While the humor is unmistakably British in nature, if you listen carefully to the dialogue, it is quite charming to think about 4 children believing their small dog is a gigantic monster after letting their imaginations run away with them.
Perhaps he is, well, don't
For the final number in our show, we decided to go back to the place where Stagemakers took its first leap, the performing arts culture of Japan. Here you will see a geisha's fan dance set to the angelic music of Mary Tyne Schumann. When we performed this piece originally, we sang the entire time we danced, but in doing this, the storytelling element of the fans was lost in translation. In geisha culture, fans are imported props that symbolize birds, leaves, snowflakes, and the like. The lyrics of this enchanting melody remind us that beauty is all around if we only take the time to see it. We hope you will leave here today feeling more connected to the artist within yourself. You are talented. You are unique. You are beautiful. for season 2.
Where'd she go? Right there, huh? Whoa. Do we put your shoes on the right foot?
No, I got
Maybe. Okay.
Guess where this came from? Books on Nanny.
That's cool.
Did you hear the dog?
Yeah. Oh, that didn't sound rough. That dog was having a rough time. That dog having a rough time. Yep, you gonna go give Nanny some cookies? Oh, watch it. Where are you going? There's Nanny right there. You gonna give Nanny some cookies? Here, let me hold you. Let me hold you. And then you can give them to her.
What'd you say?
All right. Hey there, we got some chocolate chip cookies. Did y'all want some? You can't eat them all yourself. Yeah, we're not gonna share it all.
Well, listen, what is my name? Yes, you do know my name.
We gotta wait till she gets here.
Brenda, which one did you get? You don't sure?
I think we got one.
Bonnie, good job.
That's the only one
Woo.
we
Yeah, Bonnie, she's a professional dancer.
Barney, you don't
She got the fans and stuff.
Good job, Bonnie. You do a great job. You didn't know
Good job. You gonna give Bonnie a cookie? You give Bonnie a cookie.
fourth
Did her show. Give her a big cookie.
our family.
Please. You know, and give Bonnie, Bonnie don't get no cookie. Oh. Caleb. Oh. You wanna stand up here and give Nanny a cookie?
She don't give me no cookie. Give it to your daddy then.
Who gonna get that cookie? I thought you were gonna give it to Bonnie and Nanny. You're not gonna give Nanny a cookie.
Oh, you got
Give Nanny a cookie.
This is my wife.
You got more than one. You could break them in half and have twice as many.
That's what she used to do. Nancy's an artist.
Nanny, this one's yours.
Okay.